Before moving to Vancouver Island, I had a checklist of things that I was pretty sure I would hate. I would dislike. Rainy weather, limited job opportunities. I heard of higher cost of living, higher cost of food. But after living here for several years now, I realized that some of those fears were completely unfounded. Some of the things I was completely wrong about. Some things I was concerned about rightly. So today I'm going to share 5 things that I thought though I would hate about living on Vancouver Island, but I don't mind after all. Let's jump in. Welcome to Living on Vancouver Island. If you're considering moving here or you're just curious about what life on the island looks like, hit that subscribe button and stick around. Okay, firstly is the rainy weather. I was warned about that constant drizzle, the gray overcast days by friends, by family. You Google it, it comes up. And yes, it does rain. Especially from, I would say, October, November through March. For example, in February, Vancouver Island averages about 304 millimeters of precipitation. Just in that month, February. But the rain is often light. There will be heavy rainy days, but oftentimes it's just a bit of a mist, a light sprinkle. And what I like about it is that even though it's raining, we still have mild temperatures. So let's say you're really into mountain biking. You can go mountain bike in January, February, typically. It'll typically still be above zero. So you can get out, you can do things, you'll just be wearing a rain jacket. Now also, all this rain really keeps things looking lush here. Through the winter, the grass will still be green. It really comes to life a bit more so at times. There's portions of the island that actually are rainforest. So a practical tip I would say is just invest in a good waterproof jacket. Then embrace some cozy indoor activities, but also embrace that you can go outside in February and do what you want to do. I came from Alberta years and years ago, northern Alberta, and I know what winter is like. And there are days, weeks, months where you just hunker down and you're inside on your phone, on the TV. Here you can still get out and enjoy outdoor life throughout the entire year. And that's one thing that I really, really do appreciate. So the rain, it doesn't bug me. I know it does bother some people. It can cause, some maybe mild depression in the winter. But for me, when it's raining, personally, I smile because I think, well, it could be snowing and it's not. Okay, another thing that I thought would be an issue, I thought that I wouldn't like, was limited job opportunities. I had heard that, well, it's sure hard to get a job on the island. A lot of people have to get off because they can't find employment. And I came here without having a job. I gave up my previous career and I didn't know what I was going to do. So while it's true that the job market is smaller, it is limited compared to larger cities, it's also growing and it's quite healthy. As of March 2025, BC in general saw an increase of 5,700 jobs. So there are sectors like healthcare, like education, like technology that are expanding. And a lot of job opportunities now are becoming more remote. So for many, it doesn't matter where you live. In the end though, there are less people living on Vancouver Island than even in the city of Vancouver. So yes, because more people live in Vancouver, there's more jobs there. But it's still possible. If you're in the trades, if you're self-employed, definitely do your research, but there's still a lot of opportunity on the island. Another thing that I thought I would really hate and that would really affect my life and that people warn me about, oh, you're moving to the island. The high cost of living there, it's super hard, it's super expensive. Now, while it's true that the cost of living on Vancouver Island is more, the cost of living in BC actually is higher. Things like groceries are higher here, our gasoline costs can be higher here. A lot of things on Vancouver Island can cost more because much of it has to be brought here, has to be ferried across. So it's true, life costs more. But you also have to consider the quality of life, where you are, the access to nature, the relatively low crime rates, the community feel, where you're going to call home. And to me, that adds value. If living in the absolute cheapest place possible is priority one, and that'll put a smile on your face and that'll increase your joy and happiness in life, then it won't be the best for you. But if you value living in an area that's gorgeous, that allows you to do outdoor activities year round. There's beaches to explore, there's lakes. If that's worth money to you, then it's well worth it to live on Vancouver Island. I likened it, this might not work as an analogy, but I likened it to a cell phone. Do you want the cheapest cell phone out there? Something that's like $49 that you can make a phone call on and has like a blurry camera on the back? Or do you want a cell phone that perhaps costs a bit of money, but does what you want it to do and really elevates your life? That's worth money. So spending money on something that gives you more value is worth it, in my opinion. It costs more to live on Vancouver Island, but I love it here and I'm grateful, and I'm not going anywhere personally. Another thing that I thought I would dislike was I heard that transportation on the island was really a pain. Now, it's true, and it all stems back to, again, there's less people here. So if there was 2 million people on the island, we would have to have way more bus routes. But with less people, there's less bus routes. There is inner city transportation in many of the bigger cities, so let's say Nanaimo, Victoria, but you get to a smaller city or smaller town, there might not be that bus service, like Crofton. It might not have that bus service, or if it does, it might come 2 or 4 times in a day. So if you're commuting to get out of town and back for a job, it can be super challenging. And I had friends warn me about that, saying it's hard to get around. I would agree. To a degree, it's harder. So I would plan on having a vehicle if possible. If that's not on your radar, you're like, no, I don't want a vehicle, you might want to move to a community and work in a community that is more walkable, like a larger community, Victoria or Nanaimo. Also, you have to take into consideration with transportation, we're on an island, so to get on and off, there's that big BC ferry you got to get on, so that slows down life. It's not like I go to Vancouver for dinner. You go there for a day trip, even that's hard because the ferry sailing itself is 2.5 hours. So typically if you're going there, you're there for a couple days. Not always, but the ferry travel slows down things, and it is, I wouldn't say it's inconvenient, but you got to plan for it. You have to factor that into what you're doing. Another thing that I was worried about and I was warned about and I thought I would hate was the healthcare system here. The healthcare system in Canada is functioning to a degree, but it's not great in many areas of Canada. It's not just a BC problem or a Vancouver Island problem. It's a Canada-wide problem. There are walk-in clinics to go and visit, but many of them will have lineups. Getting a family doctor is very challenging. There's usually waiting lists. Those waiting lists can take 2 years. It can take longer. So when you move out here, go put your name on that waiting list right away so that you can be serviced. I actually recently saw a list of some doctors that were accepting new patients, and there was a sprinkling of them throughout the island, but there's not a lot. It's a challenge. In the end, Vancouver Island surprised me. No, it's not perfect, but nowhere on the earth is perfect. Many of the challenges that I was worried about and that friends warned me about largely turned out to be manageable. I wouldn't say that they're flat out false. I would say I'm okay with them, largely. The healthcare system, am I okay with it? No, I'd love it for it to improve. But the rain, I can't change how often it rains, but I can change to a degree my attitude about it, and I personally still embrace it. I know it does affect some people, and it'll affect people differently, but for me, again, every day that it's raining, I just say, well, it's not snowing, and I have a smile on my face. So if you're considering moving this way, don't let these common concerns slow you down. My 2 cents is embrace the island charm and what it has to offer, and you might find out that you are largely okay with the issues that I talked about. Personally, I love that I can call Vancouver Island home. If you found this helpful, please leave a comment below, leave a like, and stick around. If you are moving this way or you want to look at homes, reach out to us, reach out to my team. All of our contact information is on our website at seizethedaygroup.com.